You have anything to say about the space station?
I mean, I could talk for an hour about the space station.
Please don't. Digitech is a legendary brand. They have led the charge in DSP and experimental sounds, paving the way for brands like Chase Bliss, Line 6, Maris, and many, many others. In the 90s, they put out the XP series, and out of all of those units, the space station is probably the weirdest and the coolest.
How do you feel about the space station?
So these brilliant engineers, they're having fun, and the most fun they were having on this series created these really strange sounds that weren't whammy or wah, weren't reverb, or weren't mods. So that's what this is. It's like it's the kitchen sink kind of thing. It's the supreme pizza or whatever. It has everything in it.
Space Station has 4 effect categories: synth, warp, alien, and sonic. And it also is a volume pedal and a tuner.
It's like the odd family member that's really cool but doesn't fit in, but it ended up being the most legendary, which says a lot.
As we've seen countless times in the pedal world, first is not always best. The space station was way ahead of its time and people were not quite ready for it.
When I very first came on to Digitech, so in 95, 96, I got to feel the pain of the failure of the space station firsthand. Apparently they had space stations stacked 10 deep at Guitar Centers.
You remember selling these?
No. We sold them, but I never sold one.
Who knows if they gave them away, if they put them in a landfill somewhere or something like that, but XP300, absolute 100% abject failure.
There she is. Yeah, I have a full set, never opened. Want to smell it? Here, smell that.
The space station did not become popular until after it was discontinued. In the early 2000s, it started to gather a lot more attention. Now they can go for sometimes more than 2 times the original price, ranging from $450 to $900 on the used pedal market. Section 1. Synth.
The synth section on this pedal is extremely impressive for the time that it came out. You get everything from octave string swells, string swells with fifths, but my personal favorite is number 8, string swell strings. All the names are on the back.
Section 2. Warp.
Now it's time to enter the warp zone. The warp section on here might be where people started to trail off and become not interested in this pedal.
Space Station does upright bass.
But every single one of these sounds is incredible in their own right. In the warp section, you get a bunch of weird warp delays as well as reverse sounds, as well as octave up and down sounds that are very whammy-esque. My favorite setting in the warp category is number 10.
Alien.
The alien section is truly unhinged. You have everything from weird bit crushers, ring modulation, filtered, drippy arpeggiating sounds, and lasers. My favorite alien sound is number 25 and number 26, and that is the ring modulator and the alien ring modulator.
Section 4. Sonic.
The sonic section is a weird mixture of metallic reverb sounds, bizarre ascending arpeggiators, as well as really strange descending arpeggiators. For our final jam, I'm going to play number 32, which is called Chromatic Resonator.
The space station gave permission to future pedal builders to be weird and experiment with DSP.
XP300, absolute 100% abject failure. Now it's considered to be, a classic.
Oh, they're like $800.
I know.
Yeah.
There's a couple of companies that almost everything they do is like a variation of something that's in the space station.
Things being successful when they're released is not actually a sign of success. A lot of times the failures are like the most influential things, and that goes all the way back to the first pedal, the Maestro Fuzz Tone. Nobody wanted it either. So, if you're a failure, you might change the world later.
After you're discontinued.
We now live in a time where there are tons of cool DSP pedals out there, and while the space station did not receive the attention that it deserved at the time, it has gone down in pedal history as a legendary pedal.
You have anything to say about the space station?
She said it all. We're doing this thing on the space station. Are you going to make it again since you're now Digitech again?
No.
Why not?
I used one of these for years.
I believe this was used on the last Haim record for vocals.
Do you know any records that the space station was used on?
Some of my favorite sounds from that are the kind of older Collective Soul records. There's a guy named Ross Childress. They're not an ambient band, but there's like these weird ambient guitars that are really, they kind of push the envelope. Like no one was doing that stuff. It's on a lot of stuff, but it's always like weird, obscure. It's sometimes hard to tell that it's it. It's such a weird pedal. Final answer, no?
Let me think about it. No.
Okay, all right. That's all I needed. I'll let you go.